Since being released to the public September 3, 2020, Yamaha's brand new sport utility Wolverine RMAX 1000s have created a firestorm of positivity and excitement among side-by-side enthusiasts, not seen for a Japanese machine since the time when the Yamaha Rhino 660 was the sportiest machine on the market. If a manufacturer wants to create excitement that turns into sales instead of criticism, all they have to do is build side-by-sides with class-leading specifications that deliver on the promise of quality and performance without major compromise. That's exactly what Yamaha has done with their new Wolverine RMAX 1000s, and enthusiasts have responded accordingly, with many of our viewers split between elation over putting their money down on a new RMAX, and those suffering with buyer's regret over last year's purchase. Many of the RMAX specifications are not only leading in the sport utility class, they're competitive or more impressive than some sport models we've tested. Infected with enthusiasm shared with our viewers, we met up with Factory Yamaha at Mild to Wild Off-Road in Sparta, Kentucky for a private one-on-one test day in the RMAX2, open only twice a year for public riding. Mild to Wild is the private testing grounds for our pro-level test driver Justin Frazier, owner of Razor Sharp Customs and a former pro rock bouncer. His company builds side-by-side chassis, suspension parts, roll cages, bumpers, as well as complete turnkey trail and rock bouncer builds. Justin was joined by UTV On Demand editor Chad Westcott. Chad is an avid off-roader who teaches side-by-side driving courses to first responders. With 2 drivers and over 7 hours of seat time under our belts, the time has come to share our impression of Yamaha's exciting new RMAX2 1000. UTV On Demand's test of the 2021 Yamaha Wolverine RMAX2 1000 was made possible by Planet Side-by-Side makes upgrading your ride fast and affordable with their price match guarantee and free shipping on orders over $99. A leader in wheel and tire packages. They stock System 3, Maxxis, ITP, Fuel, Method Race wheels, and more. Planet Side-by-Side serves your off-road audio needs with brands like Wet Sounds, SSV Works, and Rockford Fosgate. For all your side-by-side needs with no interest financing available, visit planetsidebyside.com. Maxima Side-by-Side Engine Oil, an ester-based full synthetic oil blended with a unique balance of surface-active, anti-wear, and extreme pressure additives to ensure smooth, trouble-free operation under extended periods of use. Lower operating temperatures increase horsepower and keep your engine running clean. With Maxima Side-by-Side Synthetic Oil, the only oil formulated specifically for your high-performance UTV. Dirt Commander 2.0 tires from GBC, a bold redesign of the original, offering 8-ply radial construction with enhanced performance and durability in all conditions. Redesigned tread blocks flex more and improve cleanout. Acceleration and braking are improved with their square profile, putting more tread in contact with the ground. Elongated shoulder knobs provide enhanced protection and grip for powering through corners and obstacles with confidence. Learn more at gbctires.com. The RMAX2 is currently available in 3 trim packages: the $19,799 base model, our test unit, the $21,999 XTR edition, and the $23,299 limited edition. The standard model comes with GBC Dirt Commander 2.0 radial tires, with Maxxis Carnivores used on the XTR and LE models. XTR and LE models also benefit from various digital throttle modes, backlit switches, blue LED interior lights, removable Adventure Pro GPS tablet integration, a pre-wired Warn VRX 4,500 pound winch, and an upgraded front bumper with 4 light pod mounts instead of 2. LE models also benefit from a factory-installed SSV Works stereo and Yamaha's removable key-controlled speed management system, which limits top speed to 25 miles per hour while still allowing full power for work or hills. Base models can be easily upgraded with some or all of the XTR and LE's before mentioned features. One item from the LE model that's not as easy of an upgrade are the Fox IQS shocks. More on that later. The heart of the RMAX is a brand new 999cc liquid-cooled parallel twin-cylinder engine featuring 4 valves and double overhead cams per cylinder. A 270-degree firing order helps increase torque and traction. Premium pump gas is recommended with the engine's sport class-worthy 11.2-to-1 compression ratio. It's said to produce class-leading horsepower and torque, peaking out at 108 horsepower at 8,500 RPMs with a 9,250 RPM redline. That's 8 more horsepower than the Polaris General XP 1000, the 60-inch sport class, 4 horsepower more than the Honda Talon, and within 2 horsepower of the Razor XP 1000. Yamaha is claiming a 4% reduction in rotating mass compared to the 850 class Wolverine X2 and X4s for improved revability. A counterbalancer and 4-point rubber engine mounts were employed to keep vibration to a minimum. Oil is circulated via dry sump lubrication with an oil cooler for added cooling. A shallow sump profile on the bottom and inclined engine layout allow for a more compact design and lower center of gravity. Air intakes for the engine and CVT are mounted high under the hood, making ingesting dirt and water less likely. There's toolless access to the primary foam filter with a secondary paper filter that Yamaha claims will not pass dirt. Fuel is delivered via Yamaha fuel injection with dual 48mm throttle bodies. A fully automatic Yamaha Ultramatic CVT transmission relies on a primary wet clutch to handle engagement, eliminating the need to slip the belt. This greatly reduces belt wear, allowing Yamaha to cover the RMAX with their 10-year belt warranty. Yamaha's on-command drive system delivers the capability of 2-wheel drive, 4-wheel drive, and 4-wheel drive with front differential lock. Thanks to an electronic Yamaha chip-controlled throttle, the XTR and LE models offer various drive modes with crawl, trail, and sport modes. Each mode can deliver full power, with sport mode tuned for quick acceleration and responsiveness. Trail mode is tuned for a more linear response and acceleration, similar to a cable-actuated throttle. Crawl mode offers slower throttle response for increased traction in rocks and mud. Drive modes also affect engine braking. Trail and crawl mode offer full power, with sport mode tuned for smoother engine braking, preferable when coming down from speed in whooped out or choppy terrain. The engine fires right up, emitting a low rumble from the exhaust and decibel levels inside the cabin that we find acceptable for a work-capable side-by-side with sporty intentions. The transmission always seemed to shift smoothly into gear regardless of the situation, rolling on the gas from a dead stop or getting in and out of the throttle at speed. Clutch engagement is magically smooth and gearbox-like, with no feel of belt lash like we experience on some other CVT-equipped machines. Butter-smooth clutching feeds in the engine's seamless power delivery. It's linear yet fun, controllable yet fast enough to deliver a level of thrills that was missing from the X2 and X4. Respectable low-end power easily gets the car moving on smooth or slow technical terrain. The RMAX can generate decent trail speed without having to scream the engine. A strong torque curve entering the mid-range allow it to tackle long, steep climbs, instilling confidence that you're not going to run out of power, pushing the limits of the engine's performance racing from corner to corner on the roomy wooded trails. You sometimes forget that there's a dump bed behind you. The RMAX delivers the type of engine performance we've come to expect from the naturally aspirated sport class, albeit very refined. When you ask for it, there's enough thrust on tap to push you back in your seat. We got the wheels spinning, cresting some rollers flying down the trail, and it's possible to break the back end loose and steer a bit in corners, even in limited slip 4-wheel drive. We hit 60 miles per hour on one of the longer straightaways we encountered, with the RMAX apparently topping out at 73 miles per hour, so cruising at 50 miles per hour on smooth fast trails shouldn't be an issue. Exploring the different drive modes, crawl mode allowed us to easily navigate big creek rocks with plenty of power to keep moving and no sign of tire spin. Justin tackled the longest, steepest climb we came across in crawl mode. Even if full power wasn't necessary, it was there if he needed it, which is exactly how it should be. Trail mode provided natural feeling acceleration that seemed proportionate to the demand placed on the gas pedal. It works well for any type of driving from technical to sporty. Good thing, as this is the only mode available on the stock standard model. The gas pedal, while improved over the original Wolverine X models, still drew mixed reviews. Fortunately, low-speed pedal bob is no longer an issue in trail and crawl modes, with a digital throttle filtering out most unwanted pedal input without feeling laggy. Sport mode is similar to slapping a quarter-turn twist throttle on your dirt bike. It doesn't change the power capabilities of the engine, it simply delivers more gas with less movement of the throttle. The higher level of engine braking assistance provided by crawl and trail modes does notably better at controlling speed on downhills. Sport mode's reduced engine braking allows you to coast a bit more through bumps, and reduces the feeling of throwing out the anchor when you let off the gas. With all 4 tires spinning on slick, muddy, steep rutted climbs, it's nice knowing that the front differential lock is engaged, with all 4 tires clawing for traction at all times, regardless of what we did with the throttle, or if available traction changed from one side to the other. Its search for traction is continuous and unwavering. Overall, the engine and drivetrain feel well-mannered for all-day work, with performance that feels worthy of a sport side-by-side. The General could be outgunned. The RMAX is built on a brand new steel chassis. The car's 64-inch width is ideal for adapting to nearly all types of terrain. Most of the underside of the frame is covered by a welded-on steel skid plate. Kickouts on the lower frame rails help prevent snagging the rear wheels on trees or other obstacles. Our unit came outfitted with a set of 3/8-inch thick, genuine Yamaha UHMWP skid plates, protecting the underside of the frame, which we'd rather not scratch up. Plus, they slide more easily over rocks. They'd be our #1 accessory choice before we left the dealer. Winch-ready steel bumpers feature very overbuilt-looking tie-down points for easy trailering. A channel in the front grille allows an observer to keep an eye on the winch cable, helping prevent tangling and binding. Dual A-arms up front use wide-arc lower arms for improved ground clearance. Dual control arms out back utilize single-stamped lower arms for improved strength. We were impressed with the thick shock mounts and stout appearance of the exposed frame and suspension parts. Justin felt the construction looked more robust than what the competition is delivering at this time. Fox Podium 2.0 QS3 shocks are used on the standard and XTR models, with Fox Podium IQS shocks used on the LE model. They feature nitrogen reservoirs, dual-rate springs with preload adjustment, and 3-way compression damping adjustability, with comfort, medium, and firm settings. The IQS system allows you to select between the different compression damping settings via a switch inside the cockpit. According to Yamaha, the shocks were optimized for maximum low-speed comfort and articulation while still offering a high level of bottoming resistance. Class-leading suspension travel is found at both ends, with 14.2 inches up front and 16.9 inches rear. That's nearly 3 inches more rear suspension travel than the General XP 1000, within 1/10 of an inch of Yamaha's YXZ 1000R Sport side-by-side, and more overall travel than the 64-inch wide Honda Talon 1000X. Equipped with a front sway bar, the RMAX2 forgoes a rear sway bar, allowing for maximum articulation. The RMAX2's 86.7-inch wheelbase is claimed to improve contact-to-ground feeling on steep climbs and descents compared to the 83-inch wheelbase of the General XP 1000. Rolling on 30x10x14-inch radial tires on 14-inch aluminum wheels, the RMAX2 delivers the square tire setup we prefer. Ground clearance is class-leading at 13.8 inches. Optimized for use with 29 to 30-inch tires, Yamaha's electric power steering offers a second mode that automatically engages to make steering easier when the front differential is locked. Suspension performance was outstanding on the wooded trails we tested on. The factory suspension settings are designed for 2 occupants with 150 pounds in the bed, with room to stiffen or soften the ride. That's where we left it for our first day of testing, although Justin said he would have softened the ride a bit for driving alone. We managed to bottom the suspension on a G-out that Justin says pushes any sports side-by-side shocks to their limit. Even then, the RMAX never bottomed harshly and quickly regained composure. During rock crawling, the shocks do an excellent job of absorbing square-edged hits and allow the suspension to respond to the demands of the terrain, aided greatly by the lack of a rear sway bar. Flying down the trail at speed, small bumps aren't harsh, the suspension never bottoms hard, and everything in between is well dampened. Although we didn't get a chance to pound whoops, rebound damping seemed quick enough that the suspension was always ready for the next hit. emitting a fun, responsive, and lively feeling over mildly rolling terrain. The RMAX2 has a lot of suspension travel, and it felt that way no matter how hard we drove it. Driving in limited slip four-wheel drive a majority of the time to maximize handling when entering corners at speed, dive and body roll are well controlled with just enough front-end squat and weight transfer to weight the outside tire, getting the front end hooked up, and steering precisely. Justin felt that the RMAX2 is the most accurate steering production side-by-side he's ever driven, regardless of class. In rough corners where the car might start to bobble, the suspension quickly settles things down. Stability is very good, with a feeling of a low center of gravity. When you hammer down exiting corners, you feel the back end squat and transfer its weight to the outside tire, setting into the corner like a trophy truck. Even then, the rear suspension remains very responsive to bumps, keeping the ride comfortable and the driver in control. Power steering is near perfection, as we've come to expect on all Yamaha models. It's light, with the perfect amount of feedback, keeping you feeling connected to the trail, while eliminating unwanted bump feedback. The only time any real effort is required to turn the front wheels is at a dead stop when the front differential lock is engaged. The RMAX are slowed by four-wheel hydraulic disc brakes, with 255mm rotors and 32mm calipers used up front, and 244.5mm rotors with 27mm calipers used out back. Dual piston calipers and steel braided brake lines are used at all four corners to enhance power and feel. The brakes deliver good power and feel, but Chad and Justin both felt that the pedal required more pressure than they liked. Braking improved a bit throughout the day, but still required a good amount of pedal pressure to get the most out of the brakes. While we didn't get a chance to do any hauling or towing, with all of this performance comes the capability to get work done, or haul more gear out for the weekend. The RMAX2 features a cosmetically well-disguised, hydraulically assisted composite dump bed, with multiple steel tie-down points and 600 pounds of cargo capacity. The 2-inch hitch receiver is rated to tow a full ton, even with the bed loaded to capacity. Interior comfort and attention to detail are first-rate on the RMAX. Entering and exiting has been made easier compared to the older X models. New 3-piece doors feature interior door handles located further from flying mud. Integrated door speaker pods are designed to make installing speakers easier with improved acoustics. Compared to the Wolverine X2, the automotive-style cockpit of the RMAX is roomier for all occupants, with nearly a half-inch more forward movement for the driver's seat. The seats feature increased bolstering and new cut-and-sewn seat covers. The seat belts feature tool-free 6-point adjustability and 20mm increments. Soft touch points are located throughout the cabin. Gas and brake pedals are newly designed. A 17-degree tilt-adjustable steering wheel is constructed of a softer durometer rubber. The passenger benefits from a new quick-adjust T-shaped grab handle featuring 95mm of adjustment. Getting comfortable inside the cockpit is pretty easy for most body types. At 6'2", Chad felt that he had plenty of legroom on either side. His shoulder rubbed the shoulder bolster a bit when he was driving, although it wasn't a serious issue. The steering wheel feels rigid, yet is soft to the touch, and offers plenty of adjustment. The seats are comfortable, with a design that's well balanced for easy entering and exiting of the car, while still offering a decent amount of bolstering for aggressive driving. The seats seem well placed inside the chassis, minimizing the jostling of the occupants while traversing rough terrain, making the passenger grab bar seem almost unnecessary most of the time. The 3-point seatbelts are among the best we've used with no uncomfortable pressure points. We greatly appreciated the added comfort of the soft touch points, which seemed perfectly placed. All of the switches, handles, and latches feel high quality. Riding in the RMAX is an absolute joy, with no rattles, squeaks, or irritating vibrations from anywhere on the machine. There's just the pleasant sound of the engine and a slight turbo-sounding hiss from the CVT. Interior storage includes a 5.8-liter passenger glove box and 2.7-liter center console, with dual cup holders located in front of it. The center console is rubber sealed with pass-throughs to charge your smartphone while safely inside. XTR and limited edition models feature a USB charge port and Adventure Pro integration, which can be locked in place for security and removed for use in your car or truck. All RMAX2 models come with Suntop Standard, featuring integration with Yamaha's accessory windshield, cabin closure system, and mirrors. Its modern sporty styling is accented with LED marker lights. 7.6 watt LED low beams and 15.2 watt reflector high beam headlights are found up front, with LED tail and reverse lights used out back. If you like to accessorize your rig, it's worth noting that Yamaha already has over 100 accessories ready to go, featuring factory fit and finish. Along with the accessory skid plates, our RMAX was outfitted with Yamaha's polycarbonate half windshield, which does not distort your view of the trail like the curved half windshields we've tried from other manufacturers. While we're typically excited about new machines, we're blown away with the new Yamaha Wolverine RMAX 1000. It's certainly a contender for best in class in the sport utility segment, but it's more than that. Although we didn't get the chance to test it in whooped-out terrain, the RMAX 1000 seems good enough to serve the needs of many enthusiasts who've been wishing for a 64-inch wide CVT-equipped sports side-by-side from a Japanese manufacturer. Its engine is both quicker and faster than a Kawasaki Teryx KRX 1000. It might give the Honda Talon 1000X a good run on the trail, and could be a better option for many drivers than Yamaha's YXZ 1000R in tighter, more technical terrain. Plus, the RMAX2 1000 will let you haul more gear, work, or tow more than any sport side-by-side. Its combination of performance, versatility, and refinement is unique, and why we expect the 2021 Yamaha Wolverine RMAX2 to become one of the top-selling side-by-sides on the market. That's saying a lot, but the Wolverine RMAX 1000 is really that good.